As Nashville continues to decide what to do with bombed out 2nd Avenue, there are other concerns that may be even more problematic.
Well, among them, how did one man knock out 1/3 of our state's 911 service, as well as internet and phones in parts of 7 states? Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier taking a hard look at the lessons learned and what needs to change.
A bomb creates an awful wound.
What is the address of your emergency?
Oh my God, my entire building just fell down and it's collapsing.
A street you know by heart.
There was a big explosion.
Still recognizable in the most hurtful way. Anthony Warner did this all by himself.
We have a recording out here saying there's a limited time to evacuate this area.
An RV, a bomb, the not-so-secret knowledge of the exact location of the region's communication hub. Metro 911 Director Steve Martini.
Once that device detonated, we received probably 45 to 50 phone calls in 5 minutes from all over the place, from Donaldson, from Antioch, as far out as 13 miles away out on the kind of the far side of Percy Priest Lake.
The roof was collapsing in.
Okay,
Yeah.
stay with me.
Oh my God.
Stay with me. You're okay.
The emergency batteries that power the building last 4 hours and then kick over to a backup system. That backup system is powered by natural gas. What can't you use when you have fire? Natural gas. And so the backup system was worthless. Dr. Douglas Schmidt is the co-director of Vanderbilt's Data Science Institute.
So this is another example of cascading failures where people didn't quite understand that not only were they vulnerable in a primary sense that the building could be damaged, but there was also vulnerability in the secondary sense that the way the electricity was provided was through a form that was vulnerable to fire.
And so Metro Emergency Management was on the ropes.
We went from our first level of redundancy to our third level of redundancy like that. We skipped Plan 2.
Plan 3 was a 70-year-old outdated copper wire system that is limited to just 911 calls and has faced budget elimination every year. That's what saved the emergency response in Davidson County.
And when you do this, it's kind of an eye roll, right? Why do we have these? When are we ever going to use these?
Out in Rutherford County, no such luxury. The phones went quiet and stayed quiet for almost 5 hours. They had no warning they were in trouble. Rutherford County 911 Director Steve Smith.
What I would refer to as getting a heads up or being put on notice.
The beginning of a long list of toppling communication dominoes.
When that RV exploded, it knocked out the internet, it knocked out landline service, it knocked out 911, it knocked out mobile service, it knocked out TV, and it also had some very unexpected consequences.
Businesses couldn't do point-of-sale transactions. The airport was shut down. Problems in 7 states. When you sift through all the rubble, who is ultimately responsible for preventing this from happening again? Professor Schmidt believes AT&T must make a dramatic and expensive move.
We need to start building these facilities away from major metropolitan areas. Put them out in the countryside, have layers of physical security where you have to be able to have guardhouses and fences and barbed wire.
It's what Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook all have done. They understand the magic of wireless still has a physical component. But this isn't going to happen tomorrow because it's going to cost so much money. So what do we do right now?
I think it rises to the level of almost a local 9/11, no pun intended. But this needs to start from the ground up in terms of let's find what were our exposures, why did they exist, how can we correct them.
Rutherford County got its backup system up after 5 hours, but still the possible exposure was unacceptable. Rutherford County was without its primary 911 service from Christmas morning until New Year's Eve. Well, what does that mean? Here's what it means. An average of 2,600 calls during that time period. Now multiply that by counties all over the state. You get an idea of the potential of missed emergencies.
Had there been a coordinated attack where the first thing you do is knock out the telecommunications infrastructure and then follow up with other attacks, you can imagine it would have been much more damaging in terms of lives affected, lives lost, property damaged, and the consequences of the actions. So I think we really dodged a bullet on this one, But as we often say, the price of liberty is eternal vigilance.
911,
What is the address of your emergency?
Oh my God, I think it's an explosion.
So what is AT&T going to do? We don't know. They're not responding to our emails. We're not alone. The state wanted to launch an investigation, but the FCC said, don't do it. This is too big. We want it. We will keep you up on any new developments. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.